Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new episode of Stand Up, Sit Down. On today's show, I have the hilarious, the talented Jay Phillips. Stay tuned.
You are now tuned in to Black Hollywood Live. Stand up, sit down.
There you go. What's up, man?
She can't move. That's what it is. What's up?
How are you?
I'm hanging and banging, brother. What's up?
Man, here's the thing. I have watched you for a few years.
Okay.
And I think like the first time I saw you in person, it wasn't on stage.
Okay.
I was an extra at Dodger Stadium because they built a full thing for the movie SemiPro.
Right.
And I was in one of the rafters and I was looking around. I saw D. Ray Davis and Andre 3000. It was Will Ferrell, and I was like, that looks like Jay.
Yeah, man, that's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, out there in the baby shorts and the tight shirt and the little afro and the sideburns. Absolutely. Yeah, I introduced my musculature to the world.
That was it.
Everybody thought I was just a young little skinny dude.
No, see, I got
a little Jokic.
But I mean, did you work out prior to that?
Cool. I stayed in shape pretty much all right. I just never, I'm take my shirt off. I don't need to. I'm a comedian. There's no reason for me to be walking around with my six pack out.
I mean, Kimmel does though.
He does that, but he's more than that. He did that after he became a movie star.
Right.
Not as a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
So I am not a movie star as of right now. I will go be in a movie, but I am not the star of the damn movie.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
That's fine.
But I mean, well, and then Jamie Foxx did the little special with his belly button out, and I might need security.
That's different. Yeah. Yeah. I guess he did do Woo.
Yeah,
at that point.
Yeah,
he was in there a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I could took my shirt. I don't know. Maybe one of these days.
I mean, I'm not asking for it personally.
I'm glad you're not. I wasn't taking it as you were. I'm just saying. I just, back to the movie.
Yeah.
SemiPro. There it is.
Yeah. So for people who don't know, so you grew up in Baltimore, was it? Or was it?
I grew up in D.C.
Okay.
I grew up in Washington, D.C. Went to school there in Prince George's County, right outside of D.C. in the DMV. And then after I became grown, I moved to Baltimore for a while. Got a job on the morning show up there. And, I'm streamlining everything, of course. I started comedy in D.C., moved to Baltimore, did the morning show, then moved around until I figured out I was going to stay in L.A.
Yeah.
I stayed in Brooklyn for a few months, and then I was like, yeah, maybe not Brooklyn. And then I moved out to L.A., and I was like, yeah, I like this.
That was
nice vibe. Yeah,
that was it.
I went Christmas shopping in a T-shirt. I was like, shit, I'm moving.
Yeah. What prompted stand-up? Like, what introduced you to the world of stand-up?
Well, as a kid, I was always a fan of comedy, and I just really didn't know it. I kind of look back on my childhood, when you couldn't go nowhere, you just had to watch TV when you was a little kid. So it was like, my favorite shows were, Saturday Night Live, and then the coolest thing in the world was those nights that I would randomly catch evening at the Improv. Because they never know when it was going to come on or when it was, when they was going to show a stand-up special, and I used to always remember those. And then I became a big fan of it. We had a lot of albums in the house, and then mixed in those albums was the Bill Cosby's, the Richard, the Richard Pryors, the Moms Mabley album. All of those were always in rotation and had access to, and So then one day I was just like, what the hell, I'm gonna try it. I don't know. I saw one of my friends that I went to high school with. I went to a random comedy show, and he was there and on the show, and I was like, "Oh, that did it." I'm if he did it, if he's actually getting paid to do it, I'm going to actually go. I'm going to figure this out.
Was he funny?
Yeah, he was good.
Okay,
he was good. He made me laugh.
All right.
And then I was like, I know I'm funnier than this.
You're like, I can do it too.
I can do this. So that motivated me to give it a shot.
So then, what was that first show like?
The first show was weird. It was like one of these shows where I was going on vacation. I was in the Bahamas. Nice. It was one of the last hurrahs with my baby mama. And we got into an argument. I said, all right. I went to the bar, got drunk. They was having karaoke night. And I've been sitting writing my notes in my notebook for the last 2 weeks until I got enough courage to go on stage one day. And I guess I drank enough courage that night. I went and lied to the guy. I told him I'm a professional stand-up comedian from D.C. I'm out here on vacation, and what's going on with the mic? And I was expecting him to say no. He was like, "You are next." It was a packed bar in the Bahamas, and I did all right. I probably told 4 or 5 jokes, and out of those, 2 of them worked really well.
Okay.
And so I was like, I was hooked. I got that first big little rumble laugh, and I was hooked. Ever since then, I'm still doing it.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. So then what was like the first bomb like?
Oh, man. I don't know if I remember the first one. I remember a few, memorable ones.
Okay.
The first one was, I remember when I first started introducing myself to Baltimore. I went there, and Monique had a comedy club there, Monique's Comedy Club.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I went there 1 week before my birthday. Had like the professional and amateur night. So it's like I went on and killed it. I was like, yeah, we good. I went back the next week. It was my birthday. I invited folks out. And DC and Baltimore have a little rivalry. They don't really mesh well.
Right.
So Monique introduced me. She was like, this dude coming up to the stage, he drove all the way up here from DC. And from the word DC on, I got booed. It was one of them days. I was like, oh, hell. Here we, and it was my birthday.
The entire set?
Oh, man. I couldn't get nothing off.
Oh, man.
Once I couldn't get, what's up, y'all? Boo-hoo, boo-boo. They booed me good.
Man.
Yeah, that was good.
How long were you on stage?
Oh, man, about 2 minutes.
And then you were just like, I'm done.
Yeah, it's enough of this.
I'm done.
Today is over.
Man.
Chalk it up. It's a birthday. Go get a drink.
Yeah, it was. I mean, but obviously you kept doing comedy, but like, how did you feel?
No, I needed that.
Yeah.
It's like you being in your first fight. You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody knows how to punch.
Right.
You know what it looks like in your head when you hit somebody and he gonna fall and everybody gonna be
Right.
But what you gonna do when somebody punch you in the mouth?
Yeah.
You never think that part through. Like, then I'm gonna get hit once. We never think about that part.
Right.
So to actually experience what the worst case scenario is, I was like, all right, good. I know where the bottom is.
There you go. Yeah.
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 I'm good. I can handle that.
And then what do you do when people start talking in the crowd and start heckling?
Well, I mean, it's an art form, just like anything else. It's public speaking amplified, because you're supposed to be entertaining at the same time. So it's like, it's different techniques. You can talk back at them. You can try to embarrass them. You could, you have each case is really, really different. It's like being a caseworker. You don't know what your problem is because whoever is doing this obviously has a real problem.
Right.
Like there's something really wrong.
Yeah.
You're gonna pay to come out. You're gonna pay for your friend to come out, and then you're gonna pay for drinks. You're gonna pay for food, and then the whole time you're there, you're gonna talk loud enough so that you're disturbing everybody around you, and you know what I'm saying, and try to interrupt the show.
Yeah.
So there's obviously something wrong with you. So now I have to try to figure that shit out really quickly to be like, that's what's wrong with you, and then I can either address it and leave it alone or move. It's case per case.
Has there been a case where you tried to address it and it backfired on you?
I'm quite sure at some point in time, but just like anything else, just like in a sports analogy, you have a bad game, you forgot about it. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Check cleared. I'm good. I'm back at the crib, man. I'm good. And what? It doesn't tell me that I'm not funny or nothing like that. It's something wasn't right. It's a lot of things that have to go right to be able to have one person with one microphone, with no music, with no entertainment, no video package, no nothing, just one man talking, to be able to control and entertain, 4, 5, 600 people at one time.
Yeah.
I mean that's hard. It takes everything to line up properly for that to happen. So yeah, on an occasion, you can have one of those ducks out of a row and just screw the whole night up. It can,
right?
But not often because we're professionals. We know what we're doing.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
How often do you write jokes?
I'm constantly in a joke writing mode for whatever reason. It's like a processor, man. Everything that happens to me like runs through this little processor in my mind, and it spits out like, should that be a scene in a sitcom, or is this going to be something that I talk about on stand-up, or is this going to be something that I just tweet, or is this? It's like at all times, my job is to live life and to let that stuff just fall through my little sensors, man, and figure out where it's gonna go. And then, if it's something that resonates with me, I put it in my phone. And I save it in my notes, and then I'll go back and look over my notes later on and go that way. But
see if it works.
Yeah, see if it works.
But now, so when you get this idea, when you see something like, oh, that would be funny, like how do you determine whether or not you'll put it in a stand-up set, or like, oh, like this would be great for a scene?
Well, I mean, I kind of just catalog it. I just put it in there. Something funny is something funny. I'll figure out where it goes later. So I write down funny things, and then while I'm scrolling through those, I always roll through my funny list whenever I'm about to do something creative. Whenever you're about to take a test, you do your last little read of what the things are that you're supposed to be doing. So before I go write, before I go do stand-up, before I go act, before I do anything that, being funny would be helpful, I scroll through my list of funny things that I've noticed, and then we'll fall them in while they may. Yeah.
And now we're in like a weird area now where this political correctness stuff is being thrown around like crazy. Are there any jokes to you that are off limits, or any topics that you just won't touch?
There are no topics that are off limits or that I won't touch, as long as the joke is brilliant.
Okay.
It has to be brilliant. It can't be you can't have a mediocre joke about gay people anymore. You can't have a mediocre terrorist joke. You can have, but you're gonna have a whole bunch of mediocre Trump jokes. Obviously. Come on, comedy world. We gotta do better, man. We can't just keep talking the same 6 damn Trump jokes. Anyway, message to my fellows.
So nothing is
no. You're supposed to be able to do anything, and that's very true. That's our First Amendment right to do.
Yeah.
So you can tackle anything you want to tackle. Just make sure you're ready for the beast.
Right.
I did a joke about kicking a dog. How unlimited is I just did it for the hell of it.
Yeah.
I'm not kicking no dog, but. Just because it'll ruffle your feathers and make you pay attention to me. There you go.
Yeah.
Now, how you like that? Just for you.
Would you apologize for a joke?
No. Why? It's a joke.
Well, I mean, because like you've seen comics apologize, because it ruffled the wrong feathers, or and
hey, if you're offended by what I've said or what I've done, then obviously you did not pay attention to your ticket when you paid for the ticket, because you got offended by someone telling a joke at a comedy club. I'm sorry to hear, that's like saying, man, I felt like I was gonna pass out when I was on that roller coaster. Well, you was on a roller coaster. I'm not going to apologize for going fast and dropping you down. No,
right.
This is a good roller coaster.
Yeah.
Come enjoy the ride.
I'm taking you on this.
I'm taking you on the ride. Come get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't like it, then
get off.
Yeah. Right in the middle of the loop. Just leave.
Just
unhinge and fly your ass out somewhere. That's what I'm saying.
What got you into acting?
I think I've always kind of wanted to do it. And I ain't gonna lie. I patterned so much of what I was doing after, how the people's careers who I enjoyed, which is Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence, Adam Sandler. Right. These guys was like, oh, okay, I see what you're able to do. Right. You're able to be great at stand up and have a hot movie that you helped create, that you produced, that you wrote, that you were, that you had your hands all in. And then a TV show opportunity over here. So it's like, okay, people just want your brand. They just want that. And I was like, all right. So once I saw that, that's kind of what I did. And, in acting, it was like, all right, that was a full extension of what I'm doing on stage. Because in order to be good on stage, I took acting classes so I can enhance my stage presence. And then I became really good at acting classes. So then when I came out to Los Angeles, it was like, all right, might as well try to act. I got these, I've been taking these classes for a few years, and I'm good in my class. Let's see how I look out here. So I took classes while I was here. I study. I keep studying and continue to study, because you can't, the competition gets better. It don't get worse. You want a better job, the competition gets harder.
That's very true.
Yeah, so I'll walk out and it'd be one of the Wayans, be Wood Harris, and be, I'm like, God dang, I got to compete with these dudes. You know what I'm saying? I thought I did good, but obviously Alan Payne is next. God dang.
When you booked your first acting role,
okay,
what did that feel like? Like, did that give you like a sense of satisfaction? Like, all right, like I can kind of do this thing now? Or
yeah, it was a couple different levels to it though. My first one, like I wouldn't move to LA until I was called. That was my thing. If I'm not coming out here until I got work.
Right.
So,
which is smart.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. So I got my first call to come out here from John Amos.
Oh, nice.
John Amos' son, Casey Amos, was doing a film project, and they wanted me to come out and do a piece in the movie. So I was like, all right, cool, dope. So I came out and did that, and so that experience was cool because it introduced me to Los Angeles. That wasn't necessarily the thing that hooked me into acting. That was just like, all right, cool, I'm in, I'm out here.
Right.
The first one of those was when I did my guest spot on The Shield.
Nice.
The Shield was like, that was real acting. That wasn't like, me going on saying, dropping a funny line and bouncing. You know what I'm saying? It was like me being interrogated, you know what I mean, by Michael Chiklis in the room, how I'm handcuffed and they yelling at me and shit. And I gotta, I was just like, okay. So that was real deal, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was like, in that, once I did that, and I walked out of there and know that I did a good job, and I saw it come on, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, I fit right in with everything, and it's like it ain't, acting level here, and then my scene drops down, and then back up to some cool. It was just like, oh, okay, I hung in there with Michael Chiklis, because I'm good.
Yeah.
So after that, I was like, all right, I can do all this, I'm good. And that was my moment right there. I was like, I'm cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great show.
Yeah.
That was because he's a very intense actor. He's
Absolutely.
a very nice guy.
Nice guy, intense actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, he scared me the first time. Like I opened the scene there, right? Like my first, as cliche as it might sound, this really happened. Like you're in really close quarters when you're in those shoots.
Right.
And it's like I'm sitting there with, Michael Chiklis and the whole, their little detective crew, sitting there looking at me and they having a conversation because they do this all day, every day together. You know what I'm saying? They're just friends. And then, it's like, all right, we ready? Here we go. 3, 2, and then the dude with the camera just popped up right like 10 inches in front of my face and then did one of them pullbacks and was like, action. And it was like... my bad, everybody. I don't know, and it froze me.
Yeah.
And then after that, everybody laughed at me, and then after that, we kicked back in, and went right back, and I just jammed right in like nothing was happening. So, since that moment, everything was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But you needed that moment, like, okay,
you gotta get punched in the face. We just talked about that.
Yeah,
that was my punch in the face moment, man.
Yeah, this is the real deal now.
Yeah, this is happening.
So movies, we'll talk semi-pro, Baby Mama, Prom Night, just to name a few.
Right.
What was like that experience like? Like what was like? What's the major difference between doing a movie and between doing a TV show like The Shield?
Well, SemiPro was the first time I was able to experience what it's like to be starring in a big budget film.
Yeah,
that's just apples and oranges from anything else that you could really be doing.
Yeah.
Television is really good on a different level that I didn't get to see at The Shield at that point. I got to see a little bit of it when I was on the Kath and Kim. But when, SemiPro is like you gotta, they give you damn near an assistant. It's like, everything that you want and need is at your beck and call, is big, it's like, hey, we need to go to here. All right, the whole cast and crew flying to Michigan. It's just like, God damn, you never even expect all that. He's like, man, I need some shoes. You saw your feet hurt today? Yeah, my feet hurt today. The next day it'd be a orthopedic specialist there with giving you foot molds to go inside your shoes so that your shoes are comfortable, and it's like that type of stuff. Just like, so to be able to see how they take care of what they they're protecting their investments.
Yeah.
And making sure that everything is as good as possible for the outcome. And the outcome came out well. Came out #1 in the box office. So
Yeah, it's a funny movie.
Yeah, part of the benefits of that is the production that is behind it that you don't see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a good experience, man.
So now, and because I know that comics want to do TV and they want to do movies because it helps them with getting on the road and booking more shows and this and that. So did you see like a big change after you were really popping?
Yeah, but not a big change, but a change. Not the change I was looking for.
Okay.
But it did give me a lot of face recognition. Everybody, I know that guy from, and my stand-up dates were pretty consistent.
Right.
I was able to start touring more. It did introduce me to being able to headline easily the Improv and the Funny Bone chain, which is the 2 largest comedy club chains in the country.
Right.
So, I'll be able to do 25, 30 weekends a month through that chain. I mean, it doesn't pay me the next level that I would love to make, but, it's an opportunity to go grassroots, go touch the people.
Right.
And, prove my worth on the road. And that's all I really want, prove my worth. Go out there and show them, that we can make some money together.
Yeah.
But that's really not why I was doing the acting. I was doing it, obviously, it would help that, but that wasn't the point behind it. The point behind it was to be able to do that all of the time so that the other didn't matter as much.
Right.
I don't have to go. I love going on the road, but I don't want to have to go on the road every week.
Right.
Not to pay my bills and all of that. I don't want to have to do. I'm gonna be fine. I can always tell some jokes, but I would much rather be able to supplement that with a very nice acting career.
Yeah.
So that's what I did.
Having a hit TV show.
Having a hit TV show, having a movie in the theater, having all of that good stuff. So, that's the world that interests me, and I'm a creator as well. So since I like to write. And I don't like to write. Since I can write,
I don't think any writer
nobody likes to do
to
this.
write. Yeah.
I'm gonna sit down in a room and put on some headphones and block the world out and just type. That's craziness.
Yeah.
But to be able to take the idea, the challenge to me as an intellectual is being able to take what I have in my head and putting it on paper so that people can read it and understand it and produce what I've done.
Right.
That's the big thing. Anybody can write, but to write it in a way that is boom and boom, that it translates, and that's what the big challenge to me was, and learning how to do that, and and I've been able to do that. So I knew that's what's been intriguing me over the last 4 or 5 years, is to be able to produce more. Yeah. And that's when I started writing on In the Cut and started writing on Family Time. And
how has that experience been?
It's been incredible. It's an opportunity to learn from someone who who was one of the head writers on Martin, executive producer on the Jamie Foxx show, and Bentley Kyle Evans. Yep. Yeah. So this guy is he's my writing mentor. So I'm able to bounce all my questions. It's like being able to go to college, but your college professors, you get paid for it, and your professor's Jordan. You know what I mean? It's like you just come show up at the gym, and that's so I was like, all right, dope, let's do that.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, so I've been able to get a lot of things done, and creating new projects, and writing new shows and creating shows from scratch. Right. And I have 3 or 4 of those shows that I have that are looking like they're going to get produced as well. So,
that's great.
Yeah, that's absolutely great.
Yeah. And so we spoke briefly before this, and so I know you mentioned a show that you guys shot.
Yeah.
That you're starting to kind of shop around now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a show that we shot. It's called Grown Folks. Bounce TV is the most likely home for it. That's what we're looking at. They got us on hold right now to figure it out, but it looks good. Yeah. It's a sitcom. It's in the same vein of The Honeymooners. It's like a brand new model of The Honeymooners. It's myself, Gary G. Thang Johnson. He plays the owner of this duplex. Him and his wife, who's Tracy Jones, and my wife is Karen Ward Ross. We have our his wife and him, and me and my wife. I play the goofy dude, and he plays the the more straight, angry dude, and we battled it out, man. It's a great season. It's called Grown Folks. We had great guest stars come through and do great. You know, it's good. You know, we got Tank, Brian McKnight.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a lot. Fredro and Corrupt, and you know, it's a hot little project, man. We really proud of it. And can't wait for y'all to see it.
That's exciting.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And then because you also shot a 30-minute special.
I did.
And this is for Kevin Hart's network for his LOL.
Yeah, LOL network. Kevin Hart is launching at some point in time. I don't know when that's going. I don't know how that works. I don't care. You know, I'm so much of an artist, man, that when you ask me to do something, I pour my heart into it.
Yep.
And once I've completed what I had to do, I wipe it all the way off of my table. I really do, because there's so many other things that I would like to be doing that I have to release it. I have to let it go, and then whenever it comes back, it comes back. So I know it's done. It was a great show. We filmed it in Atlanta.
How many times did you do that set? Was it like a one take
one and
Jake?
done.
Or was okay.
One and done.
So you had to get it right.
No problem. No problem. That's what you do. It's game time.
Yeah.
That's what you do. You get one shot.
And then now, so these jokes, even though they haven't been on TV yet, are you gonna retire them, or like are you still gonna use them? Are you gonna use them sparingly now?
Yeah, I mean, I'll take those jokes on tour.
Okay.
I'll take those jokes on tour, and I'll do around the country, you know, with those for one more lap.
Right.
And then, you know, while I'm working on that, I have the replacements already that I'm building while I'm on the road. So
Nice.
I'll do 30 minutes of the classics that you saw in the special, and then 30 minutes of the new stuff that I'm working on for the new special. So they'll eventually migrate the rest of the stuff out.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you just throw them away, or do you ever have like callbacks for like old jokes, or?
I mean, they're never dead. They're always there for a live show. You know, sometimes a live show can go from an hour to an hour and 40, hour 30, 40, 30, 40 minutes. So, you know, it just depends on the flow, what you got going on for the day, man. And, you know, the jokes don't never die. You always get a request here and there. Do the joke about your buddy getting beat up. I'm like, all right, man. Yeah, you know, then I got to dust off a joke that I ain't told in 6-7 years. You remember you did something about the... I was like, oh, yeah, I did that. I don't remember that.
Last two things as we wrap up. What would you say has probably been the coolest moment of your career thus far?
Wow. Unfair question. It's really unfair. The coolest moment of my career, I would have to say, is being invited to and being a full-blown part of a Hollywood premiere. When SemiPro came out, I was able to call my mom and my pops and tell them, hey, look, your ticket is in your email. Now I don't know your password. You got to go in there and open it up. So your ticket's in your email. You're flying you out. You're gonna stay at my house, and you know that I'm all right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they went with me to the premiere, and they got to see the movie in theaters with me the first night. That and then so all of that, and to have them watch the red carpet, and my wife watched walked the red carpet with me, and it was just like, yeah, we good. So that was probably one of the coolest moments ever right there. Absolutely.
All right. And last thing, what would probably the best piece of advice that you can give to someone who's brand new, wanting to break into the industry, whether acting or comedy? What would you tell them?
It ain't no rush. First of all, there's no rush, and don't expect the other stuff before you do the other stuff. I have so many comics coming up to me and like, yo, I've been doing this 3 years, man, and I think I need a shot. And I'm like, all right, well, I hear you, but most of the time there's no substitution for the time.
Right.
There are the 1 to 2 to 3 people that can get on in 2 or 3 years or whatever, but the majority of the people that's doing it, they have put in them 10 years, them 9, them years that you can't replace.
Right.
There's no way to replace it. So my advice to anybody in either one of those fields is enjoy the journey, because the competition that you're going up against, they've gone through the journey.
Yeah.
And you know, in order for you to beat the people who's been through the journey, you have to either be super damn special, or you know, you got to go through the journey yourself. And there's no substitution for it. There is none. There is none. There, you know, you just got to do it.
Yeah.
We all still study. We all still. You know, I consider myself pretty successful at what I'm doing. I still pop up at a club with 5 people in it,
right?
And go tell jokes in the middle of the night on Wednesday at 12 midnight. I'm still, you know, I still take acting classes when I have an opportunity. I still go speak at acting classes. I still coach people and have people help coach me. Another thing that's been very helpful is, as a producer now, I'm able to audition people.
Right.
So it's a whole different animal of what, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, there's so many things that you can't replace that you have to experience. So enjoy experiencing what you're doing. That's my advice. Have fun. Enjoy doing what you're doing. Everything else will pop up for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now where can people see you live next?
Live next. I am on a tour right now. It's an Army tour. So in the U.S. Army bases, I'm going to this weekend Fort Sill in Oklahoma. I'm going to Fort Hood in Texas, and I'm going to Fort Huacharao, something crazy like that. That's gonna be in Arizona. So that's this week, man. Y'all can check me out on Twitter and Instagram, Jay Phillips Live, and I'll let you know where I'm at. I don't know all my dates.
But they're posted, so you get.
They're posted.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there they go.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, man.
Thank you guys for watching. Of course, you can follow me all over the internet at the Nick Perdue, and now the Nick Perdue too. I'll see you soon.
I only talk to this one.
From executives Kevin Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio. Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.